Namaste. Namaste and welcome to this Saturday morning yoga practice. This is week 3 of us doing our big hip flow. And today we're going to add just a little bit more to our practice. So if you haven't done this practice before, please go back and do videos from weeks 1 and 2 first. So without further ado, let us come down to the mat for a seated pose. Any comfortable seated pose. You can have your legs bent, you can have your legs out in front of you if that feels good, perhaps with the knees a little soft. You can kneel, you can sit on a chair, whatever you like to do. And when you come into your seated pose, just spend a moment resting the arms wherever they are comfortable, closing the eyes if you are able to do that, and allowing your body to come into your yoga space, your mind to come into your yoga space. Try to have that sense of leaving behind the things that have been on your mind. Any disagreements, conflicts, stresses, and arrive on your mat to be reborn through yoga. Oh, that sounds terribly mystic. Feeling your sitting bones, and wherever your body is touching the ground, perhaps your feet or your legs, allow your contact there to ground you, to really draw you into this space. And from there, allow your spine to organize itself upright, lengthening a little through the back of the body, through the front of the body, lifting the crown of the head, trying to avoid gripping or holding in any area. Notice the breath that you're breathing right now. And then when you're ready, at the end of your next exhalation, just engaging across your navel to press a little bit more air out of the lungs, and then breathing deeply into the sides of the body, the chest, the back. Breathing out a little more completely by drawing the navel gently in. Breathing into the rib cage, the shoulder blades, the collarbones. Breathing out, gently engaging those abdominal muscles. A few more breaths like this, filling the body with prana. Finding space through your torso, through your rib cage. And at the end of your next exhalation, drawing your chin towards your chest, not with force, just however it arrives towards the chest, and then rolling the right ear towards the right shoulder, chin to chest, left ear to left shoulder. Now in this class, the live yogis are all quite adept at yoga, and if you have a different set of neck movements that suit you, you can use those. So you don't need to do these ones, you can do anything that suits your neck, perhaps a little light turning or nodding or figure of eights. If you want to add something to these neck rolls, you can lift the chin, not taking the head back, but just over between the two ears, so you make a little circuit. And if it feels comfortable, you can go in the other direction, just noticing the connections between the movements of the head, the neck, the shoulders, feeling where it connects into the torso, down the chest and the upper back. Bringing your head back to center when you're ready, and softening your arms so that we can make shoulder rolls. So we choose these first few moments of the class to feel our way into our bodies. And we're going to go in the other direction as well. So once we get going, you can make any movements that feel good to you. So I like to free my arms and do one at a time, exploring the connections between the movement of the arms. My torso begins to move, chest, back. The head is free to move with the movement as well. And you can go in both directions. You can make this as expressive or as contained as you would like. When you feel that you're beginning to find that sense of opening, perhaps you want to move into the torso a little gentle side bending. And perhaps a little folding over your legs with a twist or without a twist. You can shimmy yourself from side to side, a little sway of the upper body. And you can free your legs anytime you're ready to, and you can have them apart with one leg in, you can have them straight in front of you, whatever works for you. The knees don't have to be long. This is not posture practice proper. This is your exploration of how your body's feeling today. So do anything that suits you. I'm going to roll my ankles a little bit, roll my wrists, wobble on my bottom. Anything that feels good. And spending maybe a few more breaths doing your exploration before gathering yourself back onto your mat, and we're going to lie down on our backs. So meeting on the back with the feet on the floor and the arms resting out to the side. Taking a moment to allow your body to adjust to this new orientation, this new position. And absorb all the information. So you're perhaps aware of areas of the body that need a little extra care today, anywhere where you've got some stiffness or tension to wriggle out as well. Let's draw the knees into the chest. We want the knees to be wide. We're going to support them either with hands on top or hands underneath, and just begin by rocking from side to side. Let's massage some life into the low back there. And then we're going to make circles. Knees can go together or in opposite directions as you choose, but whichever way you're going, reversing. And those circles sometimes get a little massage into more the back of the waist. Then we're going to release our hands from our legs and let our knees do circles on their own, lengthening the legs a little and then drawing the knees into the chest. Alternate circles works well here. And the opposite way as well. Stirring the thigh bones in the hip sockets, lubricating those joints, drawing a little bit more blood flow as well. And then bringing your knees to center. We're going to stretch the legs up into the air, take the hands to the inside of the thighs, and then gently take the legs apart. So to wherever feels good for you. And we don't want to be in a full stretch here at the beginning of the class. We want to find some openness, some space, but not a full stretch here. And here, just rocking from side to side. So supporting the inner thighs with the hands, rocking side to side. And then we allow the body to become still, slide the hands to the outside of the thighs, draw the knees together, knees into the chest, float the feet down one at a time. Allow the feet to be nice and wide, and we're going to gently sway the knees from side to side, the upper body nice and relaxed, arms wherever feels good for you. We're beginning to approach a twist, but at the moment we're just waving the knees. Not trying to get anywhere. And remember, throughout the class, it's not the shape that you make, but how it feels. Really absorb yourself into that practice of awareness. Next time the knees come down on the right side, just allowing them to rest to wherever they naturally get to. And take a deep breath in. And a deep breath out. Then we'll sway the knees back to center, a little sway from side to side. And when you're ready, letting the Knees come down on the left side, just to wherever they get to for a deep breath in. And a deep breath out. Bringing the knees back to center, a little sway. And then if you want to, you can bring your heels a little closer towards your buttocks. They don't need to be closer together. And you can have your toes pointing outwards if it suits you, or a little outwards if it suits you. Elbows tight to the body, palms facing across the body because the elbows are bent. Let's gently press down with the back of the head. Firmly press down with the backs of the shoulders, backs of the arms, heels of the feet, and peel the hips up. And then gently release the hips down. Again, it's not about the shape. Pressing down to engage, peel the hips up. And release the hips down. Let's do one more, up and down. And then this time, coming up for a bit of hula hooping. So peeling the hips up, really engaging down with the back of the shoulders and arms and heels, and then hula hooping your knees in hips rather in one direction. Hope you're not hula hooping your knees. And in the other direction too. Coming up to center, try a little lift without gripping. So have that sense of openness, of lightness, of support from the back of the body without forcing. And then very gently roll all the way down. Bend the knees into the chest again. We're going to take the feet up towards the ceiling, the hands up towards the ceiling. Roll the wrists, roll the ankles. It doesn't matter how bent your knees are for this. It's not about having a straight leg. And then knees into your chest. And we're going to rock backwards and forwards through the length of our spine. So engaging the front of the body to draw the head towards the knees, and then gently rolling backwards and forwards from sitting bones to shoulder blades. And if you can, catching yourself in a little balance at the top of the movement as well. So we'll do a few like this, and then we're going to do our one-legged variation as well. So on your next roll, placing your right foot down and your left leg long and reaching your hands in front of you, and then rolling back and doing the opposite, left foot down, right foot forward, lengthening the hands in front. So just going backwards and forwards with this one. And for those of you who would like to do the next thing, you can press into the right foot and lift the hips up, she says wobbling, or into the left foot and lift the hips up. And this comes with practice. When I first started doing this, I couldn't do my left side at all. And now I've got a little lift. And you get that from pressing down into that foot and reaching forward with the hands. One more to each side. And then this time, just rolling up to catch yourself in a balance, perhaps a little boat pose. And we can draw our spines long, lift the shins. And if you want to, reach the arms away from the body for a little breath in. And then catch ourselves as we breathe out and come into cross-legged pose for a moment to sit, allowing the body to organize itself in this new position and absorb the information that our practice is giving our nervous system, our muscular system, our fascial system, our breath as well, our heartbeat, all of these things, just noticing. And if you ever need to, you can sigh out through your mouth. Wonderful stuff. So let's start with the right leg extended and the left leg in. We'll do our sweeping circles and with our big wing movements. And we're going to do 4 on this round, okay? So I'm going to take the right hand down to the right side of the body, take the back of the left hand and imagine you're sweeping that arm like a wing towards your right leg, doesn't matter how straight your right leg is, and then up, and then twisting, placing your left hand down, sweeping your right hand over as you lift your hips. You don't have to lift your hips on the first round, and down, back to sitting. Sweeping the left hand to the right leg and up. Nice figure of 8s. Pressing down into your left shin as you lift, pressing down into your left arm as well. Let's do 2 more. It doesn't matter how fluid it is, it's more about establishing the connection to that support underneath the body. Okay, so we lengthen as we lean forward over the right leg, and then we contract to lift as we open into our baby wild thing. Really nice. Okay, girls, I'm going to turn sideways again. We're going to fold the right leg in, turn to the left, place the left hand down behind you, then the right, and come into our little squatting pose. It doesn't matter what sort of height your hips are at or how turned out your toes are. We're going to reach our hands as far away from us as we can, to the point where you almost feel like you're going to fall forward, and to catch yourself, you have to extend through your legs and extend your hips up to the sky and your heels to the floor. So we're in a lovely downward facing dog now. We're going to walk out this down dog, pressing through the hands, pressing through the base of the fingers, the heels of the hands, and trying to keep that length in the tailbone, perhaps even a little lift in the belly muscles. Walking side to side, walking heel to heel, or heel opposite heel, is good, but if you want to, you can do a little press into the hands as well. So I find that I press the same hand as the heel that goes to the floor, and then I get a little rotation, just a small one through the upper body. Perhaps it's just the neck you want to do. Perhaps you have something else to do. When you're ready, you can bring your feet towards each other a little bit more, not really close together. And we'll do our first waving vinyasa. So knees to the floor if you want to, or doing a full waving vinyasa, dropping the hips to the heels, press off the toes, round through the back. And as your chest comes forward between your hands, imagine you're pulling the heels of your hands and elbows backwards to open your chest, soft knees, soft elbows. Press back up through hands and knees, all plank pose into downward facing dog. Keep the knees soft, let the hips come down to the heels, press off the feet to round forward through the spine. As your chest comes forward, pulling the heels of the hands back to open, and then pressing up, hands and knees, all plank pose. This time, we're going to come forward, the same, rounding through the spine, pressing off the toes. And as we come forward, we can gently look in one direction and then the other, if that suits you. Really soft and buoyant in your up dog here. And from there, knees down, hips down, chest down. Make a pillow out of your hands. Rest the forehead on the back of the hands. Toes fall towards each other, heels fall apart. And take a deep breath in. Deep breath out. And if you want to, you can wriggle your hips if you need to release anything there. So for our next practice, we're going to keep our head, arms and hands on the floor, or on the support that they're on. So we're trying to keep the upper part of the body very passive. Draw your thighs together. You're going to press down with the left foot, lift the right leg up, soften the knee a little to lift the heel a touch higher, reach the heel up or the toes up a little bit, and then release the leg down. Press down with the top of the right foot, lift the left leg off the floor, soften the knee to lift the heel a bit higher, reach the toes just a touch higher still, and then release that leg down. This time we're going to go with a reach across the body. So press down with the left foot, lift the right leg up, soften the knee, and then reach the right toes across the left side of the body behind you, lifting the front of the right pelvis away from the floor, and then releasing back to center, releasing the leg down. Same thing on the other side, press down with the right foot, lift the left, soften the knee to lift the heel, reach the toes across to the right side, lifting the left side of the pelvis, and then releasing back to center and down. Let's do 2 more to each side in your own time. Down with the left, up with the right, bend, reach across, and return. Down with the right, up with the left, bend, reach across, and return. 1 more to each side, down left, up right, bend, reach across, and return. Down, right, up, left, bend, reach across, and return. Lovely stuff. And when you come back to center this time, then toes towards each other, heels apart, a little wiggle of the hip bones or the tailbone if you would like to, and just a deep breath in, and a deep breath out. Very nice. Let's take the hands underneath the shoulders or underneath the chest, pressing up into hands and knees. And here we're going to start with a wide base on our knees and a wide base on our hands, and make hula hooping circles, not hula hooping circles, circles, hip circles, moving the chest forwards and backwards, the hips forwards and backwards. Whichever direction you're going in, go in the opposite direction as well. I like this just for releasing any tension from the low back from the last practice, particularly as we're just developing our strength there. Then bringing your knees together, your hands can come back towards your body a little bit if that is nice for your wrists. We're going to start with the right leg, so tucking the toes under, slide the right foot back, and then look up and open your chest, really press down into the mat. We're going to sweep the right toes along the floor to the right hand or in the direction of the right hand, and then sweep the toes on the floor. The leg is long and straight behind the body to the left. So if this works for you, you can do this one. And if you want to do a little bit more, you can do this with the foot off the floor. And for those of you doing that, lift the chest, lift your right leg as high up as you feel able to easily do without gripping too hard. And then sweep the right foot forward to the right hand, and then sweeping up and over, big rainbow arc, touching the right foot down behind you on the left side. Up and over towards the right hand. Don't let your chest collapse. Up and over and behind you to the left. Last one, up and over to the right hand, and then up and over behind you to the left. I realize I'm pointing in the wrong direction again, but not to worry. We are going to pivot on our left foot, roll onto the inside of the right foot, so we are all supported underneath the body on the left, and then make big sweeping circles with the right arm in baby wild thing. One more circle, and finish as you reach over the head. For those of you who want to, you can transfer from here to sitting. For those of you who'd like to do a rock star, slide your right foot in, so the knee is bent at a right angle and your foot is on the floor. Press into your left hand and your right foot to step your left foot next to your right foot. Lift the hips, reach the right arm over the head, then drop the hips, drop the elbow towards the hips as well. Lifting up, pressing underneath the body and down. One more, lifting up and down. And then we'll sit with the left leg crossed in front of the right leg, allowing the body to come back to its center, allowing the spine to organize itself and your whole system, your mind, your nervous system, your musculoskeletal system, your heart, to absorb all the information that we have given it in our practice. Now, from this round onwards, anyone who wants to rest, when we come into the down dog, anyone who wants to rest can rest either on their tummies or in child's pose or in dog, if dog is restful enough for you. Okay, so don't feel that you need to keep up. And particularly if you're watching this on the video, feel free to stop it anywhere and take a pause. Let's extend the left leg, and we'll do our sweeping wing figure of eights on the left side. Taking your left hand down left side of the body, sweep the back of the right hand towards the left leg, just folding as much as your body feels able, opening the right arm over the head, and then pressing into the right hand, the right shin, opening under the body as you come into a baby wild thing, sweeping the left arm over. Leaning over to the left as you sweep the right hand in a big sweeping circle, and then Releasing the hips from the floor, lifting underneath the body to sweep the left hand. Let's do 2 more. Very good. You can see some beautiful, graceful sweepings going on the screens on my screen. Last one. And sweeping. And then folding your left leg in, turning to your right, placing the right hand down behind you and unwinding yourself into your squat. Reach your hands as far forward as feels comfortable. And so at the point where you're almost falling forward, press your heels back, extend through your legs, lift your hips, but keeping your chest back as well. And then in your down dog, making any movements that feel good. So this is the perfect time to drop the heels to one side and then bend and stretch the legs. So a little sort of squat in the dog. And then take the heels to the opposite side, pivoting on the toes, bend and stretch. This is a really nice one if you want to do one more to each side. For stretching out the sides of the body, particularly the sides of the hips and the torso. Coming back to center for a waving vinyasa, we're just going to do 2. Soft knees, either from hands and knees or from the feet, rolling the spine forward, looking back towards the feet until the chest comes over the hands, and then opening the chest by drawing the hands backwards and then pressing up through plank pose or hands and knees back to downward dog. Dropping the hips to roll forward, press off the feet, feel the power from the feet as you come forward, opening the chest, and then here, knees, hips, chest, and head to your supported hands. Rest with the toes towards each other and the heels apart for a deep breath in. And a deep breath out. Then we're going to bring the thighs towards each other. We'll start with the left foot this time. Press down with the right. Lift the left leg up. Bend the knee. Reach the left toes across the body. And then return to center, or straighten the leg and release down. Press down with the top of the left foot, lift the right leg up, bend your knee, reach your toes across your body behind you and return to center. This time we're going to roll onto our backs as well. So press down with the right foot, lift the left leg, bend your knee, stretch your right arm out in front of you, and as you step your left foot across the body, roll onto your back, bend both knees in, elbows down to the floor, lift the hips up into that bridge pose that we did earlier and circle, hula hooping the hips in one direction and then the other. Very good. Releasing the hips down, lengthen the right arm and leg, press off the left foot to roll back to center and take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. Press down with the left foot, lift the right leg up, bend your knee, stretch the right leg over at the same time as you lengthen your left arm out of the way, roll onto your back, bend both knees, elbows down by your side, press into the upper back and into the feet to hula hoop your hips just a couple of times in each direction. Very good. And then releasing the hips down, lengthen the left arm and leg, press off the right foot to roll back onto your tummy and take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. One more time to each side, thighs together, press the right foot down, lift the left leg, bend your knee, extend your right arm as you reach the left toes over, rolling gracefully onto your back, slide your right foot in, elbows down, lift your hips, rolling your hips twice in one direction and twice in the other direction. Nice. Lower the hips, extend the right arm and leg, press off the left foot to come back to center, lying on your tummy for a deep breath in and a deep breath out. Press down with the left foot, lift the right leg, bend your knee, reach your right leg over as you extend your left arm, rolling onto your back, slide your left foot in, press down the elbows, press down the heels, lift the hips and roll in your hula hoops 2 times one way, 2 times the other way. Releasing the hips down, extend the left arm and leg, press off the right foot, come back to lying on your tummy for a deep breath in, and a deep breath out. Then we'll take the hands underneath the shoulders, tuck the toes, come to hands and knees with nice wide knees for a few circles of our hips. And anybody who would like to have a little rest is most welcome to rest in child's pose if they want to for a little while. So bringing the knees together, and we're going to press, you can have your hands a little bit closer to underneath your shoulders if that suits you. We're going to tuck the toes and then slide the left leg back, look up and open the chest. Sweep the toes of the left foot towards the left hand, and then on the floor, take the toes of the left foot behind the body to the right. Look to the right as you do that. One more time on the floor for those who are doing the alternative. Very good. And then you can carry on doing the floor, or you can press into your hands, open your chest, lift your left leg up, and then sweep the foot as high in the air as you can towards your left arm or left hand, and then as high in the air as you can over to the right side. Let's do 3 of these. So 2 more. Don't let your chest collapse. Sometimes it's helpful to have the feeling of pressing the hands away from each other as well as into the floor. 1 more time, opening the chest as you come forward, lifting the leg up and over, pivoting on your right knee, placing your left foot down, reaching your left hand up and making 3 big sweeping circles. Feel the support under the body from the right side, pressing down into the shin, into the arm, lifting underneath the right side of the body. Then if you want to, from your baby wild thing, you can transfer straight to sitting, or you can slide your left leg in, place your foot on the floor, press into the right hand and the left foot, and step the right foot next to it. Baby rock star, lifting up and over, and then dropping the hips down to the heels, lifting up, lengthening through the front of the body, hips to heels, lifting up, feel the power from underneath the body, hips to heels, and sit with your right leg in front of your left. Well done, guys. Allow yourself to, your spine to organize itself upright again. Adjust your clothing. Absorb with that just moment of stillness. Absorb the effects of your posture work. Really good. Okay, so we're going to start with our sweeping circles again, but this time we're going to go from our downward facing dog into our standing sequence. Okay, exciting times like we did last week. So extending your right leg out to the side, letting your left leg come in, and we're going to do 3. We're going to hold our wild thing just for a deep breath. Okay, so take your right hand down to your right side, sweep the back of the left hand towards the right leg, folding. Perhaps you notice a little bit more space, reaching up and over. Left hand down on left side, press into the shin. Let the right arm sweep over and down. Sweeping the left arm over to the right side and up. Lovely figure of 8. That undulation, that rotation, that lift underneath the body. And when you lift underneath the body, it's much lighter on your left hand, your left wrist, your left shoulder. This time, holding your baby wild thing for a deep breath in, really lifting, and a deep breath out. Sweeping the right hand down again, folding the right leg in, turning to the left, placing the left hand down behind you, then rotating to come into your deep squat. Reach your hands away from you, have that sense of almost falling towards the floor, and then pressing through the hands, extending the heels towards the floor as the legs unfold. We'll take 1 waving vinyasa here. So pressing off the toes or the knees, rolling forward, opening your chest. Up dog, soft in the knees, pliable in the elbows. and then lifting back to plank pose and back to downward facing dog. From here, step, walk or jump your feet to the other end of your mat. Now I'm actually going to turn around and do it here, because I think if I'm using my right leg, that would be a little bit better for you guys to see. So here we're in our first forward bend, Uttanasana of the day, and we're going to do this with the feet wider, so widening your feet and taking a moment to sort of paddle through the backs of the legs, maybe sway the upper body a little. If you don't like to sway your upper body, that's okay. You can keep the upper body more still and just simply paddle through the backs of the legs. You can hold elbow to elbow here if you want to, or you can do my very favorite thing, which is to roll the shoulder blades down the back to make the neck feel like it's got space on either side of it, and just gently look from side to side. Very good. So we're all nice and comfy. We're going to bring our feet together so that our big toes perhaps touch and our knees touch. So knees touching is the most important thing. You don't have to have your legs rigidly straight. It's helpful to have your hands in front of you a little, so not at your feet as they would be in a classic Uttanasana, but supporting your torso slightly ahead of the body. We're going to bend the right knee and take the right heel towards the buttock, penguin pose, no, flamingo pose. And then from here, straighten the right leg. So lifting the right leg towards a standing split, but we're not lifting super high, just out in the back. Bending the right knee in, pinning it to our left knee, and then reaching the right leg long into standing split. Let's do one more. Flamingo pose with your right knee, and then a standing split. This time we're going to flamingo pose with our right knee, and we're going to bend our left leg, get the buttocks centered over the left heel and round through the spine as you stand tall. And as you come up, extend the arms out to the side and the right leg forward in front of you. Then bend the right knee in, pin the knees together. Imagine you're sinking the back of the body down a wall. So you bend only in the leg first and then fold forward to reach gently for the floor and come into your flamingo pose. And extend your right leg to standing split. Back to flamingo. Bending the left leg, center the weight over the foot, press through the foot to stand tall. Extending the right leg in front of you. And one more time, bringing the right knee back to the left knee, lifting the heel to the buttock. Sink down first, like you were descending in an elevator, and then folding forward. It's okay to wobble. And extend your right leg into standing split. Last time, we're going to come up and do the next part. So knees together, heel lifted to the buttock, bending through the left leg, rolling up to standing, extending through the right leg in front of you. Deep breath in, deep breath out. Then we're going to swing the right leg behind us, and at the same time, swing the left hand forward. So we come into a flying warrior pose for a deep breath in and a deep breath out. Then lightly step the right foot to the floor and come into warrior two. Now we've done quite a lot of wobbling perhaps on this leg. So let's lengthen the left leg and give ourselves a little bit of a rest. It feels so nice to have both feet on the floor after that. I'm going to adjust the clothing as usual. Feel free to do the same. I know I've got to do a front-facing shot later, so adjusting here. So from here, we're going to do our warrior pose, and we're going to breathe in, take the arms over the head, and breathe out, come into warrior two. So pressing the feet away from each other this time. Breathing in, coming with the legs long and the arms up. Breathing out, and this time drawing the feet towards each other. Breathing in, reaching up, long front leg. Breathing out, and here, do whichever of those pressing away or drawing in felt better to you. Then from our warrior two, we're going to reach forward with the left hand And as we reach backwards, we're going to draw the right hand across the body in front and lean away from our front leg. So almost like a reverse warrior, but without our arm down here. One more like that, reaching forward. And then reaching back. Here, we're going to straighten the front leg, pivot on the front toes, and fold towards the back foot. So the legs are long. Folding towards the back foot, we're going to pivot on the back foot as well, so that we take the left hand to the floor. We're going to turn towards the back of the body, so that the right foot is on the floor and the outside of the left leg as well, left foot. Lift the right arm up, and then if you can, lower your hips towards the floor and your elbow towards your right hip. Press into the right foot to lift up and to lower. We'll do one more. Lifting up and lowering. This time, lifting up, and if you want to add this, you can step the right foot forward and sweep that foot along around behind you, turning onto the ball of the right foot and coming into baby wild thing, full wild thing rather. From here, we're going to make the legs bend, both of them, so we can press off the right foot and step back into the lunge. So that is quite complicated. Do your best. Fantastic stuff. From the lunge, from this sort of lunged position, we're going to turn the feet to face back to the side of the mat we started on and come into a surfer squat. So we're going to have the legs wide. The feet can be turned a little out if that suits you, or forward if it suits you. We're going to imagine that our torsos are underneath a table. So we don't want to drop towards the floor here. We want to keep the torso up, parallel to the floor, reaching the arms as we sway from side to side. Nice, well done, guys. And then from here, we're going to turn back to where we started, pivoting on the left foot and standing into a standing split. One more time through. So right knee pinned to left knee, right heels lifted, bending the left knee deeply, press into the foot to stand tall and lengthen the right leg forward. From here into flying warrior, swing the right leg back and the left arm forward. And from here into warrior two, step lightly to the mat, warrior two. Nicely done. Reach the left hand forward to lean in this direction, and then reach the right hand forward as the left hand comes backwards. We're going to lengthen the left leg, fold towards the right leg at the back of the mat, pivot on the toes, and then leave the left hand down here. Move your right foot to about the middle of your body so you can turn to look behind you and come into this supported side plank. Lower the hips to the floor, elbow to the hip, and then reach the right arm over, press into the right hand to lift the hips up as well. Lowering down, reaching up. This time, if you want to add it, you can lengthen the right leg in front of you, sweep it around behind you, turn on your hips, press down into your right toes into a full wild thing. From here, get bouncy on the knees, press off the right foot to turn back into your lunge. From your lunge, pivoting your feet to face the long edge of your mat when you started in your warrior pose, and come into a surfer squat. So it doesn't matter what your feet do for your legs, for your hips, they may be slightly turned out, or they may be parallel. Try to avoid doing it with the knees, the toes turned in. And then we're going to turn all the way to the end of the mat that we started at, over the left foot, standing split. And this is where we add a little bit. So we're going to step the right foot or lower the right knee behind the left ankle. I'm doing it the wrong way around now. I'll do it sideways on, it's all good. Into a seated pose for a spinal twist. So here, the right leg's underneath, the left leg is crossed in front. If your hips aren't absolutely on the floor evenly, but you're very close. Stick with it like this. If you want to, you can extend your right leg to give yourself a little bit more centering if that feels more secure for your spinal twist. So we're breathing in as we sit tall, wrapping the right arm around the left thigh, drawing it towards the body, and then breathing in, lengthening the left arm up, and then placing that left hand down behind us as we turn to the left into our spinal twist. Go to wherever feels good for you. We're not forcing, we're not striving, we're just getting into a really nice twist. Perhaps create a little bit of space by drawing the abdominal muscles in for a deep breath in and a deep breath out. When you're ready to return, turn to the front with your head, unwind your spine, turn a little to the opposite side, and then back to the center. Now, I think you guys will all be this way around at the opposite end of your mats. So what we're going to do is we're going to swing our top legs around. So the left leg comes behind you, almost in a pigeon pose here. So we're going to roll onto the hands, lengthen the left leg, and then step the right leg to it in a downward facing dog. And here, taking a few moments in your downward dog, or you can rest in child's pose. Before we pad the hands back towards us, we're going to leave the which hand is this? Right hand down on the floor, twist to the right to end up sitting with the left leg in front of the right. And when you come back to sitting, taking a moment, allowing the spine to organize itself upwards, absorb all that information. Notice when you're really focused on the power that's behind the body, in the buttocks, in the backs of the legs, in the low back, the engaging those muscles in the way they're supposed to work makes the body much lighter to hold in these postures. So I know that it might not feel like that today, but with a little bit of practice, it definitely will. Let's extend our left leg and do our 3 sweeping circles with a baby wild thing at the end. So left hand to the left of the left leg, right hand forward and up, and placing the right hand down, press into the right shin, lifting with the right buttock, up and over. Same thing again, nice figure of 8s. Hopefully they're beginning to feel nice and familiar to you now. And last one. Reaching up and then holding your baby wild thing just for a breath in, really feeling that strength behind you. Breath out and releasing down. Folding your left leg in, turning to the right, press the right hand down behind you. Unwind yourself into a little squat and then reaching the hands very far forward. We're going to press back with the heels and uncurl the spine into our downward facing dog. And it might be by now you feel a tremendous amount of space in your down dog and you're now very comfortable in it without paddling. But if you want to paddle, I often like to keep it quite dynamic in down dog, then this is good. One waving vinyasa. So pressing off the toes, rounding through the spine. You can sit this one out if you want to, drawing the elbows backwards to open the chest, and back through plank pose into downward facing dog. Step, walk or jump your feet to the other end of your mat. So you're in your standing forward bend. Here we're going to bring our toes together or knees together. That's the important thing. With the hands a little bit in front of us, just to give us a little bit of lift here. We're going to bend the left knee so that the left heel comes towards the buttock, and then extend the left leg into a standing split, maybe not quite as high as normal, but we're all about activating that left buttock. That's what we're after. Then left knee to right knee, heel lifted. Let's do that again, extending into the standing split. One more time, left knee to right knee, and extending to standing split. We're going to come back to our left knee flamingo And then bend the right knee deeply, center the weight over the right foot, press down into the leg as we roll ourselves up to standing, extend the left leg in front, the arms out to the side, and then bend the knees back together, lift the heel to the buttock, sink down the right leg first, bending, then fold towards the floor, and extend both legs into standing split. Maybe lift the torso a little as well. Knees together, bending the standing leg, the right leg, rolling up to standing, extending the left leg in front of you as your arms come wide. And then bending the knees together, sinking down, bending the knee first, and then folding to the floor, and then extending both legs, standing split. This time we're coming up to do the next bit. So knees together, flamingo pose, bending the right knee deeply, rolling up. Woo, she says, extending the left leg in front of you. And from here, swinging the left leg backwards and the right arm forwards into a flying warrior pose for a deep breath in. And a deep breath out. Lightly stepping the left foot to the floor and coming into warrior two. And we're just going to do that little wave with the warrior to experiment. So we're breathing in, reaching the arms over the head, both legs are long. As we breathe out and come into warrior two, press your feet away from each other. See if that feels like you engage that strength. Breathing in, reach the arms up, lengthen both legs. Breathing out, this time draw the feet towards each other. See if that feels stronger for you. Breathing in and up. Breathing out, coming into warrior two, and just choosing whichever of those, pressing away or drawing in or something in between. And then we're going to reach the right arm forward over the right leg and reach the left hand forward as we reach the right hand backwards. Let's just do one more of those. So reaching the right hand forward, reaching the left hand forward and the right hand backwards. We're going to lengthen through the right leg, pivot on the heel and fold towards the back foot, which is our left foot. Place the right hand down, turn the toes towards the back of the mat and turn them again, sliding the left foot towards the hips or the tops of the legs to help support here in our side plank pose. Then dropping the hips towards the floor, elbow towards the hips, and then extending up again into our side plank. Dropping down once more, extending up, one more drop, and extend up. You don't have to do this bit, but if you want to, lengthen the left leg forward, sweep that toe around on the floor behind you, pivot on the hips to lift into your full wild thing, pressing down into the left toes, down into the right arm. Make the knees bouncy. And we're going to step off the left foot, swing the left foot back into our lunge position, facing towards the back of the mat, and then turn our feet towards the long side of the mat where we were in our warrior pose and come into surfer squat. So it's a lot of pivoting, guys. Well done for those of you who are keeping up. We are just gently easing out any tension from the inner thighs there. Keeping the torso low, reaching from side to side. This is my favorite bit of the whole practice. And then we're going to turn towards the front of the mat, turning to step onto the right foot again, lifting the left leg into standing split. One more time through. Bending the left knee to the right, lifting the left heel, bending the right knee deeply, pressing into the foot as you roll up to standing. Extend your left leg in front of you. Take a moment here if you need to. And then swinging your left leg behind you as you reach your right arm forward into flying warrior and stepping lightly back into warrior two. Well done. You're going to reach the right hand forward and then the right hand backwards and the left hand forward, extending through the front leg and pivoting on the toes to reach to the right hand to the left foot. We're going to keep turning, the toes point backwards and then point to the long side on the opposite side of the mat, lifting into side plank, lowering the hips, lifting again, lowering the hips, Lifting again. If you want to add it, you don't have to. Slide the left toes forwards, long straight leg sweeps around behind you, turning the chest and the hips open, pressing down into those left toes, down into the right arm and leg. And then from here, bouncy on the toes, or the knees rather, sweep your left foot back into your lunge in as you look towards the back of the mat. And we're going to keep pivoting our toes towards the long side of the mat where we did our warriors. Lift our arms, keep our torsos parallel to the floor, float from side to side. You'll be very pleased to know that's it done. That's it done with the standing bit anyway. And we're going to take ourselves back to the top of the mat where our right foot is. Step onto the right foot, step into a, what's it called? Flying, open, split. It's all good. Standing split, lovely. Then we're going to lower the left knee behind the right ankle so that we end up sitting for a spinal twist. Here, if the hips are quite close to being both on the ground, you might be able to fit maybe a finger underneath the left buttock, the right buttock even, then you can leave them like that. But if you want the stability of being a little bit more square, extend your left leg in front of you. Sitting tall, wrapping the left arm around the right thigh, draw it towards you and feel that length in the body. Breathe in as you take the right arm up and then place that hand down behind you. Feel that length, maybe make a little bit of space by drawing the abdominal muscles in and find your way into a twist that suits you. Relax your shoulders, let your neck be wherever is comfortable for it. For a deep breath in and a deep breath out. To come out, turn to the front with only your head. Release your hands, unwind your spine, turn a little to your opposite side and back to center. And then here, we're going to take that right leg, swing it around behind us so we end up in a sort of pigeon pose, tuck the back toes, lengthen the back leg and step the left foot back so we end up in downward facing dog. And then from here, we're walking our hands back towards our feet. We're going to leave our left hand on the floor, turn to the left, left hand on the floor, turn to the left and end up sitting with the right leg in front of the left. Take a moment. Close the eyes. Feel free to let go of any breath that's hot, that's sitting here, any tension by taking a deep breath in and sighing out through the mouth. Feel that relax the forehead, the jaw, the tongue, the chest. Allow this moment of quiet so you can absorb the effect of your practice. Lovely. When you're ready, we're going to do the final part of this practice. So from here, we're going to come onto our knees. And we're kneeling all the way up. Sorry, clothing adjustment again. Kneeling all the way up. And here I'm going to have my toes tucked under as well. So if we're going to do a half camel pose, so if having your heels up is useful for you for camel, then that might be quite a nice thing to do. So let's think. We are going to have our left heel tucked under, our toes tucked under like this, and our right leg out to the right. So it doesn't need to be directly out from the right hip. For that, you need a pretty near perfect turnout. You can have it slightly in front as well. So we end up in this sort of almost like proposal position, but sideways. And so watching for now is probably best. So I'm going to take, well, we're going to do figure of eights with our arms again, but we're going to go from this baby extended side angle pose into a camel pose. Okay, so a little something underneath your knees if you need it. So I take my right hand, my right forearm down to my right leg and sweep the back of the left hand up and over, leaning to the side. As I come up, I lift away from that right leg, take my left hand down to my left heel and sweep the right hand over the body and use the momentum to come back upright. Okay, so it's a sweeping figure of 8. We're going to try and see how we go. Okay, so right forearm down to the right leg, sweep the back of the left hand over to that right side, reaching up and opening the chest. Just allow the momentum of that to lift the right arm away from the right leg. Reach for the left heel if you want to, and reach the right arm over to bring you back up to standing. Take a moment and just sit or kneel just to rest the legs, okay? So if reaching for your heel behind you doesn't naturally come, I hope that after all of our practice, you can feel the space and also the support underneath the back of the body to be able to do that. But if it doesn't happen, then as you reach round here, just rest your hand on your left hip and then use that for a little support to do a little opening, but not as much, okay? Let's try 3 more on this side. So coming back into your position, tucking the left heel under, and find your way with it. So find your own rhythm. I'm going to take my right arm to my right leg, sweep the left arm around and up. Feel the power behind the body. So resisting that back bend as I reach my right arm over. Left arm over into that baby extended side angle pose, reaching behind. Feel the momentum carrying the movement. 1 more time around. And when you're ready, you can come to center. You can slide your knees together and rest on your knees for a moment. If it's not comfortable to rest on your knees, choose a different resting pose. We're just spending a breath or 2 here. When you're ready, you can come up so we can do the other side. So tucking the right toes under, stepping the left foot out to the side here. And I think we did 4 in total. So using any variation of the ones that we have discussed. Leaning onto your left forearm, reaching the back of the right hand in a sweeping circle all the way around. Feel the power behind you as you reach down for your right heel and reach the left arm over and up. And if you want to, you can press off that back heel as you keep sweeping the arms to give you a little bit of rebound. You can't help but engage the muscles of the back and the abdomen here. Last one. And then when you come up, just joining me when you're ready with the knees together, taking a moment if you need to. And allowing all of that beautiful openness and power that we've just experienced to settle. Perhaps you want to give your nose a little bit of a wiggle from side to side, or gently lowering and raising the chin, or rolling your shoulders, or shaking out your wrists, whatever feels good. So in this class, the primary purpose of the posture work is to develop strength in the posterior chain. So those are the muscles that support our bodies down the back of the body and that get lazy or lax when we spend a lot of time sitting, or if we don't do anything that engages them in a useful way. So even if you don't spend a lot of time sitting now, but you used to, you may still have what's called lazy buttocks. And lazy buttocks mean destabilized hips. So what we've done today is all about creating that strength, but recruiting the muscles in the pattern they most naturally ought to be recruited in, and stabilizing the hips and bringing us that sense of power from behind the body. So I hope you feel that. Maybe over the course of practicing this video a few times, you definitely will. So we don't really want to do something like pigeon pose after this that lengthens out all of those structures, because it is going to undo some of the good work that we've done. So we're going to do a pigeon alternative today. So coming to sitting, and we're going to come and sit almost in deer pose. So we've got the left knee in front of the left hip with the shin across the front of the body, and the right knee out to the right side with the foot back behind you. Excellent stuff. And then here, we're going to find comfort in this position. So it might be that we do a little forward folding and a little sway from side to side. And maybe you can feel that that's releasing a little bit around the hip, but not too much. And we could also, from here, twist. We can twist away from that right side towards the left, and we can find perhaps a little sway here. A little drawing of the chest towards the floor, if that feels good. But we're making it quite dynamic because we're searching for space. We're developing that relationship with our body and coming back to center. Very good. So we're going to offer the front hip, the left hip here, a little stability as well. Sorry, I've just nobbled something in my right leg there. Okay, so what we're going to do is, sitting as upright as we can, try to lift the left leg off the floor without leaning backwards to do it. Release down. So it doesn't matter if it doesn't come up or it doesn't come up very far. It's not about that. It's about the intention to lift. Let's try again. Lifting and lowering. Once we've done that, we're going to lean slightly forwards, and we're going to press the left leg down into the floor as hard as we can. And come back to center. And then sitting upright, not backwards, lift the left leg and hover. And lower. Lean slightly forwards, press the left leg down, and then relax. And if you want to, you can fold a little deeper down into this stretch position. Okay, not aiming for too much, just a little. If you want to keep it dynamic, you can. And then after your next exhalation, patting your hands back towards you. And we're just going to lengthen the legs, swing them in front of the body to the opposite side. Excellent stuff. So here, beginning with just folding a little bit forward perhaps, and doing a dynamic shift of the weight from side to side. Shift of the torso from side to side. Then coming up, if you want to twist, you can twist here. And if you want to twist and fold, you can twist and fold here. Just finding that space. Hoping not to nobble the leg on this side as well. And then patting the hands back towards you. Sitting upright, lift the right leg off the floor if you can, sitting as upright as you can, and then lower. We'll do that one more time. Lifting the right leg up, or intending to lift the right leg up, and lowering. Leaning slightly forward, press the right leg down into the floor really firmly, holding it as you breathe, and release, sitting upright, lifting the right leg up if you can, and lowering. One more time forward, leaning slightly forward, pressing the right leg down, and then relaxing. And if you want to, you can fold a little deeper. Don't have to, but you can. If you want to keep it dynamic, you can as well. One more deep breath in and out. And we're going to pad our way back to center. And we're making our way towards relaxation now. So we're going to draw the knees into the chest and roll down onto the back. Let the feet float to the floor and let the arms open away from the body, and just sway your nose from side to side. Then with the back of the head and neck relaxed, swaying the knees from side to side. So start with the knees nice and wide, swaying the knees from side to side. Allow your legs to find their way into a position that feels good to them. And the next time you have your legs down on the left, let them rest there. Reach the right arm up past the head and press the inner right thigh and inside of the right foot towards the floor if you feel you've got more room to move into that position. If you feel you've got more room still, you can cross the left leg over the right. And so you rest the left foot on the right thigh, just to offer a little bit of extra aid into this feeling of length. Deep breath in, deep breath out. Uncross the legs, gently float the knees to center and release the right arm back to the right side. Little sway of the knees from side to side. And then allowing the knees to come all the way over to the right side, reaching the left arm up over the head. If that feels comfortable, out to the side is fine. Easing the inner left thigh, the inside of the left foot towards the floor if you feel you've got enough room to do that. And if you want a little bit more, resting the right foot on top of the left thigh. And that does intensify that sensation of length quite a lot. So only doing that if it feels super comfortable. A couple of deep breaths here. When you're ready, you can uncross your legs. Release your left hand as you draw your knees back to center and gently sway. And I think today we'll finish by, let's cross the right foot over the left thigh and just lift the left knee towards us and do a touch of a sway from side to side. So reclining pigeon pose rather than a full pigeon pose. And some circles with that knee. And we'll circle in the opposite direction as well. At the same time, massaging out the low back. Float that foot to the floor. Lengthen your right leg up towards the ceiling and then holding around the back of the right thigh or on your trousers in front of the right thigh if you want to. We're just going to lengthen the left leg and hover the left heel off the floor as well. So a little sway from side to side with the right leg or with the left leg or with both, just to feel some length in the backs of the legs there. And then we're going to bend the left foot in, place the foot on the floor, release the right leg long and straight, traveling away from you, heel towards the floor. When the heel touches down, slide the right foot in, and then bend the left knee into the chest, cross the left foot over the right thigh. For our reclining pigeon, draw the right knee towards you. A gentle flex of both feet as we rock from side to side. Good stuff, and then make circles with the right knee. And in the other direction as well. And when you're ready, floating the right foot down to the floor, extending the left leg up towards the ceiling, catch around the back of the left thigh. If you want to, you can hold onto your trousers at the front. If you can, extend your right leg along the floor, but float the heel off the floor if possible, swinging the right leg from side to side and or swinging the left leg from side to side. You don't have to do both at the same time. And then when you're ready, you can draw your right knee in, place the right foot down, release the left leg so the leg can be long and straightish as the heel comes down towards the floor, nice and slowly. When the heel hits the floor, and slide the foot in. And we're going to finish with a little openness in the inner thighs. So both knees into the chest, hands to the inner thighs, lift the legs up. So you have straight-ish legs, they don't need to be absolutely straight. And then opening your legs to where feels good for you. And it might be a lot wider now than it was at the beginning of the class. And then holding a position that doesn't feel like a strain, gently rocking from side to side. If you don't want to rock, you don't have to. Absolutely don't have to. And whenever you're ready, just taking a few circles of the ankles here. And then we're going to bend the knees, so softening the heels towards the buttocks, slide the hands to the outsides of the thighs or knees and press the knees together, hug them towards you. Take a moment here for a deep breath in. And a deep breath out. And we're ready for relaxation. So you can come into relaxation from here, just simply stretching the legs out. You can take some support, or you can take a blanket or two. I'm going to wriggle to find a blanket here. Oh, I'll tell you what, I'll just roll them back. So if you do have to get up from the floor, always rolling to one side, not sitting straight up. Can't find my way into this. There we are. And for relaxation, it's always worth being warm. So if you need to take a bolster, if you need to take a blanket, a bolster would be quite nice today because it will soften the effort of the hip flexors. Excuse me, I'm just going to grab some water. So doing whatever else you need to release your body to bring it to a comfortable feeling. If you've got a little bit of tension from your practice, feel free to release it. If you want to have the little legs up the wall for relaxation, feel free for that as well. And legs up the wall, if you don't do it now, after this practice this morning, might be quite a nice thing to do at some point this afternoon or this evening, just for a few minutes before you go to bed. If you're lying in Shavasana, feet wide with the toes falling out to the side, arms relaxed away from the body, the back of the head surrendering its weight downwards. And you can aid the release of the neck just by swaying the nose from side to side a few times, if that helps. Making any final adjustments and then bringing your body to stillness. Take a deep breath in, sigh out through your mouth. Repeat a few times, a deep breath in, let your muscles begin to relax. A deep breath in, let go of any effort from your practice. A deep breath in and surrender your weight down into your mat. Allow your breath to find its natural rhythm, falling into quietness. Feel your forehead soften, the area around your eyes relax, your mouth, tongue, jaw releasing. The space between your eyebrows spreading. Allow the whole of the back of the body to feel really heavy, warm, supported, and releasing down. Feel the touch of air on your face. The sensation of holding space in the palms of the hands. The warmth and comfort of a blanket or warm clothing over you. Feel the space all around the body. Bring your awareness to your breath. And gently deepen your breath into a rhythm that feels like you're drawing in energy and prana with every breath in, softening and relaxing a little deeper with every breath out. Drawing in peace, light, energy. Using your exhale to let go, release tension, release fatigue. Allow your breath to fall in this rhythm whenever you're aware of it. Surrendering deeper with every exhalation. Gently begin to deepen your breath. Bring your awareness back to your hands and your feet, wiggling your fingers and toes, maybe rolling your wrists and your ankles. When you feel ready, take a stretch through the body. Feel that ripple move out from your center into your limbs, into your fingers, into your sides, into your face. When you're ready, you can draw your knees into your chest, hug them towards you if it feels good. Maybe make a few movements from side to side, or rolling your head from side to side. In your own time, find your way to one side, just keeping the eyes gently closed, letting the body come round a little at a time. And again, with your eyes closed, coming into any comfortable seated position. We're going to sit here, with the hands over the heart. So this term has been all about cultivating a positive mindset, and realizing our inner strength is one of the ways in which we can feel more healthy in our mental attitude towards ourselves. So today, I hope that you feel that you are developing that sense of inner strength, a little confidence, perhaps in your own ability, knowledge that a bit of practice is all you need to make the flow we've just done even more fluid and even more confident. Remember that the thoughts that we think particularly about ourselves are merely beliefs. They are not facts. The things we think about ourselves are beliefs, not facts. I'd just like to leave you with that. Maybe you can conjugate on it this week. I'm not sure conjugate's a word. Anyway, it's all good. And with that, thank you very much, yogis. Namaste. Wishing you a fantastic week. And next week we will be moving on to a different kind of practice with a different emphasis. There will be some things similar, but mostly a new approach. Namaste.